All right, folks. I have a little energy left, and I want to do a little bit more of this puppets meeting. Hopefully, I won't lose my temper and get sick. It's pretty hard to watch these and not get sick. Anything else going on? Nah, nothing else going on. Scanner's usual scanner. It's fucking crazy out there. Yes, 100 people died in Oregon over the heat wave, and that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. There's no help when you need it. We can invade entire continents. We can maintain bases all over the globe. We can invade countries. We can kill millions, but we can't save you, the American citizen. And that's the moral bankruptcy of our government.
Which is Resolution 21-06-33, which is adopting the employment agreement negotiated by the board president for the general manager. And I have the pleasure of introducing this resolution before the board this morning. Members of the board, this resolution before you this morning requests approval of the compensation terms and conditions of the employment agreement negotiated.
Yeah, the elites. Here you're watching the elites. There's nothing like watching the elites function. It's like the whole other world that those of us grunts don't get to live in. They make a whole big deal out of this, like it's some kind of, like he's going to be some kind of special thing. Well, anybody that has any brains at all knows he's not going to be any different from all the other ones. So what, he's black, so what? Who cares? That does nothing. It's just another career flunky, just like Kelsey was, in a position that only goes to flunkies who know how to follow the lines that they're supposed to follow, career technocrats.
With Trimet's new general manager, Sam DeSue Jr. This is a necessary action to move the formal hiring process forward and officially make him our general manager.
Yeah.
The negotiated agreement, I want anybody listening to understand that this is within the national range of salary and benefits for transit organization chief executives, and it's consistent with the salary and benefits authorized by the board with resolution.
Yeah, they're all crooks. This is a criminal organization. And just like all criminal organizations, the ones that make it to the top are the most criminals. I mean, that's how this country works. You can only make it to the top if you know how to be a great psychopath. I think, in Mr. DeSue's case, I think being black is what made him get to the top. And I don't know about that being a good thing. I don't think race should be the only reason somebody gets hired, but apparently it seems to be that way right now in certain areas of the country. And I'm sure he can do the job. I mean, what's the big deal? I could do that job. Would I want to do that job? Hell no. But I could. You have the right people around you that know what they're doing. You're the general manager is just the face of it. He's the one that gets up and talks. Maybe he'll actually talk instead of send Roberta out. The thing about the Trimet executives is they're pretty much cowards. They cower in their offices. They don't even talk to the media. They send Roberta Allstat or Mary Fetch to do their talking. They're cowards. The general managers of Trimet have always been cowards. When something happens, you'll never see them talking. They send out a public relations flunky to talk to the public. Trimet's a very, very closed community. You heard them talking. We're the best in the country. That's garbage, but I mean that's what they would tell you. I mean, we're the best anywhere. It's a very closed circle. They're not open to other ideas. They really do believe that they are the best in the country. And obviously anybody that's been around the country knows that's all not true.
Resolution 21-0622, which was approved at our special meeting last week, and meets Trimet's compensation practices and policies.
Yeah.
It provides salary and benefits package that I believe to be attractive to the new.
Yeah, what is he getting? 300 and I wrote it down. I don't remember. It wasn't 400 and his top salary range is like 450, which is more than Kelsey was getting. I mean, it keeps going up. While your pay goes up 2% if you're lucky, these guys' pay goes up 10%. This is just we're seeing this in every venue of our lives now. The elites get more and more and more, and you get less and less and less. And it plays out here too, just like it's playing out everywhere. It's no different here.
New general manager, and I think a benefit to Trimet. I recommend your approval of this resolution. And I've tried to talk, I think I've talked with all of you about the specifics of it over the last few days. So if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer. But let's start. Is there a motion to approve resolution 21-06-33?
So moved.
Second.
Get right on there.
Second, was that Linda?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Is there any discussion or questions on this resolution or the contract? I think everybody's smiling. I like this.
What do you say?
All right, hearing none, then I'm going to call the question. All those in favor of the motion to approve resolution 21-06-33, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
They don't tell you how much it's worth.
The opposed?
I saw it on
Any
there.
abstentions? Hearing none, the motion is approved unanimously. And congratulations, Sam, on being officially our new general manager.
Yay for you, Sammy.
We're looking forward to working with you.
I'm sure you
And
are.
I'll look forward to working with you from the outside. So, again, Sam, if you want to say anything, you can now, but I think you've said it before, but some people may not have heard you before, and I thought I'd give you this opportunity to say hello to anybody who might be listening today.
Yeah, thank you, President Warner, board members. I am absolutely honored to be selected as your next general manager to serve and lead Trimet, our employees, our customers, and our riders into the future. And I look forward to working with our hardworking, dedicated employees, working side by side with them, our communities, our regional partners, to really move us forward into the future. I have hit the ground running on some of our priorities that I've talked about in the past, really getting into the community and reconnecting and recovering from this pandemic, to the reimagining work, to also making financial responsible decisions to keep our system moving. So we must continue to prepare ourselves for this historic infrastructure bill that's coming out, and
This historic pork barrel bill is not going to help you. Where's my post on this?
ready to move. And to you, President Warner, and soon to be President Simmons, and all board directors, I really look forward to working with all of you every day to guide Trimet through this new transition and also into the future. I can't help but to be nothing but optimistic here for what we can and achieve together. So thank you very much.
You're entirely welcome.
You're entirely welcome, Sammy.
All right. I'm going to move on then.
Well, that was anticlimactic. I was expecting some more praise than that. I mean, geez, where's the gushing? We love you. You're great. I wanted to cue up the music.
To the next resolution, which is resolution 21-06-36, which is authorizing a contract with LYT for next generation transit signal priority, TSP, as they call it, I guess, implementation services. Mr. General Manager.
Okay, let me unmute the phone.
Okay, there it is right here. So Sam is going to get $344,000 a year, and he can go up to $450,000. So he's starting at $344,000. So that's $1,000. a little less than $1,000 a day, including his days off. How would you like to be making $1,000 a day, folks? I'll bet you would, without having to really do anything. You sit behind a desk and talk. You don't actually work.
This next resolution before you today marks an exciting advancement in our efforts to speed up buses. This will make transit not only faster and more reliable, but also a more attractive option than just sitting in traffic in a personal vehicle.
What is this nonsense?
It requests authorization for a contract with LYT for the next generation transit signal program.
Yeah, pork, another pork, you know. It's going to make, yeah, I don't know. It's, you know, another one of their fucking ideas that's never going to actually do anything. And it's going to be $3 million, supposedly. You know, I have this all written out on the blog. I remember seeing this before. Transit signal priority. I remember seeing this for millions of dollars in the past, and here it is again. It's just this hamster wheel of pork that keeps. Such a shame that they waste all this money. All they need to do is run more buses and trains, but they keep sending out the pork. That's what our government does.
Implementation service. This is a key technology for improving the reliability and really helping to reduce emissions as well. The transit signal party is also a key component of high frequency service, and we'll see that when we look at our BRT line that we're putting on Division.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how that works. That's you already know how I feel about it. Pork barrel on this. It was really a gentrification type project. That's another. Oh man, they're doing so much pork over there. It's just, you know, they got a $2 billion budget. $2 billion, $600 million of which is for operations. So that's $1.4 billion. It's more than double the operations budget is the pork barrel budget. It's more than double the operations is for pork. And nobody's really tracking on any of this. Nobody really tracks on the criminal nature of all of this government bullshit. They don't even have bus service back, and they're talking about this? So criminal.
Pilot project of Next Generation Transit Signal Priority will roll out as part of our Division Transit project. And this is a high-tech, complex system that requires adaptability and scalability. For this contract, Trimet issued a request for a proposal, and of the 4 responses proposal, a source evaluation committee determined that LYT to be the most qualified. The pilot project I mentioned will come at a cost of about $791,000, and if successful, Trimet may exercise an option to expand Next Generation Transit Signal Priority throughout the entire service area. This would bring the total contract value to approximately $2.5 million over the anticipated 10-year life of the project. The pilot project is included in Trimet's IT budget for FY22, and LYT has a total workforce of 10, 40% of whom are minorities.
10 people and a $3 million contract. So 10 people.
The company has set a goal of 12% DBE participation. Your approval of the resolution is recommended. So with me today to answer any questions from the board is our CIO, Ethan Benetton, and also Director of Intelligent Transportation, AJ O'Connor.
Okay, we want to get a motion on the floor first. Is there a motion to approve resolution?
Yeah, just approve it. Don't ask questions. Don't just approve. Just get this over with, man. Get rid of it. Come on, hurry up.
So moved.
Oh,
Second. I'll second.
Thank you, Director Edwards.
Okay, I missed that, but I assume that Kimberly has who made the motion and seconded that. So I suspect there may be some questions. Are the questions for Sam or the staff?
I had a question, Director Warner. in regards to, I guess my greatest concern is in light of the hacking that's been going on, the certain systems that rely on internet capacity that have been compromised. And I guess my question would be, what kind of safeguards do we have that are going to be incorporated into this system to certainly avoid those folks that could.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to get an actual answer to this. Yeah, well, we have it perfectly under control.
Take away from our system and hijack our system.
All you need to hijack your system is hot weather or a balloon. Okay, your system hijacks itself. Obviously, you're not paying attention, Director Edwards.
And hold us hostage.
Hold us hostage.
Good question. Nope, Sam, you're muted, I think.
Thanks, Director Edwards. I'm going to just bring our CIO directly in.
Yeah, CIO. Who's the CIO? What's a CIO?
Thank you so much, Sam. Director Edwards, that's an excellent question. I'm actually going to hand it over to Director.
So neither Sam or this guy know the answer, so they're going down the
our Intelligent Transportation Systems, A.J. O'Connor, because he's much closer to this than I am. But I will preface it by just saying it's a very serious concern, and he has a very good answer. So, A.J., would you be willing to address that from here?
Sure. So the first answer is that Trimet will be mostly providing data into this system, and that's going to be, in other words, Trimet's risk is lower than some of our regional partners. The system has been designed, though.
This is a traffic light system. It's a transit signal. This isn't even. Trimet's not even going to be running this. This is going to be a city's function.
From the ground up with security in mind, and the current protocols, communication protocols that are used in the traffic signal world to communicate to your signals system, mostly through cities and counties, is basically unencrypted. So it's not a very secure protocol. And the communication with LYT, which is, they actually pronounce it light, is encrypted traffic. So we're actually, with this system, we'll be improving the cybersecurity stance than what currently happens now when traffic signals are communicated with. The light system will be communicating with our regional traffic partners' networks. So in the case of Division, this is primarily the City of Portland. And Light, Trimet, and the City of Portland and the Bureau of Technology Services at the City of Portland are working out exactly how to install the light hardware that's needed in their traffic management center and how to do that securely. But I can tell you that Light designed this very much with cybersecurity in mind. So we feel the risk is exceedingly low. And like I said, we're actually improving the cybersecurity standpoint of the communication actually going to those traffic controllers.
In other words, you don't have an answer.
Thank you very much.
That's the dumbest question I can imagine a board member making. What are we going to do? What are we going to do about hackers? Jesus.
There'll be periodic changes as well to add to that security.
Yes, there is. In fact, one of the discussions that we had with some of our regional traffic partners, the way that the initial proposal was for an actual hardware device from Light to be installed in the traffic centers, data centers. And one of the discussions underway with Light and our partners is virtualizing that so that the hardware is not required. and that the software will just run on a, say, City of Portland's server, for example. And we're going to be making that an option as we roll this out with our other regional traffic partners. And there are some that believe that that makes it even more secure. So yes, they're constantly evolving and trying to improve cybersecurity whenever possible.
Thank you.
I've got a question.
Dumb.
Yes.
I'm not sure where's best to answer this one, but I'm just going to ask anyway because I know that this is a little bit esoteric for our riders and our users, and I understand that this will help cybersecurity, but there's also this next-gen component to the technology. So aside from improving the security of systems, and I'm assuming that will make it a more reliable system for users, what does this do now, or what does this enable us to do in the future, in the short term, that will affect riders? Aside from bells and whistles, I'm just wondering, why are we doing this, and what will riders feel? When will riders potentially feel something from this? As a sort of a message to riders as why we're engaging in these technologies.
So what riders will hopefully feel, or not feel, I guess is the way, is that their bus will be moving more quickly through intersections. They won't notice that they're stopping at lights and waiting for traffic.
Yeah, right.
It should.
We've heard this before, people. It takes a Trimet historian like me to notice it. Yeah, we've heard this before. It didn't happen.
In other words, I would rephrase your question. They should feel less. It should be a more seamless operation as they're moving through our region. The next gen part of this that you're referring to really opens up a whole world of possibilities once we've rolled this system out sort of region wide. The system will be able to factor in so many more inputs in terms of when and how to request a signal priority. And what that means, I guess we should define that. What that means is either extending a green or shortening a red cycle so that the bus doesn't have to stop. It can just keep moving through traffic.
Yeah.
And what's really amazing is other partners such as city fire departments or police departments or Tualatin Valley Fire can use this system as well. And we have the potential to have a really regional signal priority system that allows us to analyze how traffic is moving through all the different corridors. This system is the other next generation portion of this is the amount of data that we're going to be able to receive from the system is pretty stunning compared to what we have right now. What we have right now is the bus has to come up and it has to be within line of sight of a traffic light where an infrared emitter can detect the bus, essentially. We're making a giant leap forward in terms of when the traffic signal system knows a bus needs help, and that is where our riders should really notice the difference. What they should notice is that they're not having to stop as frequently and the bus is just moving along and getting them to their destination on time, and that we should have less frequent stops. I hope that answered your question.
If I may, I might be able to add a point from the lay perspective, and I'll invite AJ to correct me if I misspeak. But I believe that the potential exists with this new system for the bus to communicate with the traffic signaling system information such as, is it behind or ahead of schedule? What is the headway? Our system can tell us something about what the distance is between buses on the system, what the loading is on the bus.
Yeah, big idea.
And it provides this centralized smart system the ability to help buses move around in ways that is, so not only will it smooth out the ride, but it will actually optimize for the schedule, optimize the gaps between the buses. Even people waiting at a bus stop will know better because we're getting smarter about predicting when buses get to stops and how they're dealing with traffic. So it's just going to smooth out all of that system. I hope I got that
Yeah,
right.
sure, it's going to do all that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I really appreciate you bringing that context because I think riders today are accustomed to a little bit more of a sophisticated experience with transit options. When you can look at a map and it tells you how many blocks away the nearest e-scooter is and things like that, it sounds to me like this system steps our bus and train network closer to where folks are used to experiencing mobility options. And I see some nods. I appreciate that, and I want to lean into that a little more because I want to emphasize that as we've discussed at the board level strategically, TriMet is in the business of helping mobility, and part of that is knowing how to be a good partner in managing congestion and managing the use of right-of-ways. And as we really lean into how TriMet helps to make sure that mobility is serving the public well, no matter whether we own the vehicle or somebody else does, these sorts of systems that talk to one another, that talk to intersections, that talk to other vehicle types, are essential for TriMet to be able to really provide that kind of oversight, to not only look at the data, but to be able to help make sure that the data is telling us what we need to know that the public is being served. And I think as we move forward as an agency, it's these sorts of systems that we're just beginning to scratch the surface of how they're going to help us be a robust central repository for all mobility options and how it's going to serve the public. So I don't want to misspeak or show too much of what overpromise here, but I see this a step towards that direction without really putting it all out there right now, but knowing that it will enable us to be that agency we've talked about for a while.
No, your Director Gonzalez, you're absolutely right. This is a foundation to build on what you were just describing in division and the BRT. We refer to it as a pilot, but it's really where we're going to test the system, put it in place, fine tune it, and start that work. And then you're absolutely right. Light rail, piloting light rail next in several locations.
They got all kinds of pork. They've got all kinds of ideas, don't they? You got to love the masters of the universe.
Is something we're envisioning, and then we envision rolling out the system, coordinating it with our ETC corridors and frequent bus routes. So you're absolutely right. This is a foundation stone or a keystone of that mobility future.
Well, thanks a lot for bringing this, and it sounds like we found a good partner that's going to help us move this forward.
Yes, lovely. Great. Good thinking.
Other questions or discussion by the board?
Nope. Approved.
I'm not hearing or seeing any.
We
So with that,
approve.
then, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor of the motion to approve
Yes.
Resolution 21-06-36, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
No, of course not.
Abstentions?
Nah.
Hearing none, the motion is approved unanimously. Thank you very much.
Unanimously. How about that?
Let's move on to the
Unanimously.
next
How-
resolution,
what's
which is
Christ?
Resolution 21-06-37, which is authorizing a contract with Simmons Machine Tool Corporation, known as Simmons, for the purchase and installation of wheel lathe and axle press machines. And we'll see if our president-elect has a conflict on this one. Mr. General Manager.
I was just going to say, I don't even know who these people are, but when I looked at it, I went, that's interesting.
Mr. General Manager, you have any comments on this or staff on this?
Absolutely. Appreciate it, President Warren, members of the board. The purpose of this resolution before you is to authorize the purchase of a critical piece of maintenance equipment for our light rail vehicles. They are known as wheel lathe and an axle press machine. The two we have at Ruby Junction maintenance facility is almost 30 years old. They can no longer support the repair or the replacement of components necessary for the state of good repair of our light rail fleet.
State of good repair is breaking down every other minute.
We are working closely with an equipment design team to develop the best plan to replace both of these machines. After an exhaustive review of alternatives, Simmons Machine Tool Corporation was selected for a sole source contract. This is in particular because Simmons, the company, is currently the only company that manufactures the machines that Trimet uses. So in selecting Simmons, Trimet will reduce our costs by hundreds of thousands of dollars that would otherwise be incurred due to the retrofits and then the training that's required with an alternate vendor. The total cost of this project is $4.67 million. This includes installation, spare parts, and a 20% change order allowance. So
Oh yeah,
this cost
and a 20% bonus. Another here, we'll give you a 20%. Here's the contract, and we'll give you an extra. Yeah, okay. So this is the kind of thing that they do in government. You know, if you get a contract here, if I get a contract with them, I'm expected to actually do the contract for the price. But here they give you here $3,900,000 with an extra $781,000. So what's it for? A wheel lathe? It's for a bunch of machines. Jesus.
cost is included in our FY22 capital improvement program as part of the upgrades and improvements taking place.
You see how it goes? All this shit goes without one cutback. All of it. Meanwhile, your bus service is still at 90%. See how this works, folks? This is a criminal organization that's operating for the benefit of the elites and the elites only, and I can't watch any more of this. Goodbye.